The Eagles are trying, and it just seems like there's no interest for James Bradberry at all. We're going to be talking about Cam Jurgens and how he's going to hold up at the center position. Should we be worried? I guess we'll find out when the time comes, but let's get straight into it.
We better do. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what's going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Today, I want to go over some news for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, we're kind of hitting, at this point, we're kind of beating a dead horse at this point, talking about pretty much the same thing we've been talking about since really before free agency, okay, with James Bradberry. Now, there's some news from Jake Rabati talking about that there was there was apparently some talks with an AFC team that has done their homework on James Bradberry, but there just isn't any hits on some type of trade talk for James. We know the situation, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, we don't know, we know what we want. I mean, we want the youth movement to prosper here. We don't want to, keeping Bradberry is just going to take a back seat to somebody else. I mean, someone else is going to get cut off this team. I don't want Eli Ricks cut. I don't want, Keely Ringo won't get cut, but I don't want certain guys cut because I feel like we should be so lucky. We've had a lot of corners have some starting capability last year. Guys that have started some games, Keely Ringo, Eli Ricks, some of these other guys. McPherson was out. He's returning off of an ACL or whatever it was. It's just to a point now. This is the best moment for us as Eagle fans that the cornerback position, I would have to say, has been one of the most downgrade positions we've had in a long time. Okay, before trading for Slay, we've been dipping into free agency, or picking up cornerbacks that have been way past their prime, picking up cornerbacks that have not, had enough time in Philadelphia, that maybe we got rid of them too early. And this is the perfect moment now. Like, you go after two DBs. Now, we know Cooper DeJean is going to be playing nickel or safety. He's pretty much been playing outside, inside between minicamp and obviously OTAs. But with Quinyon Mitchell, it's just to a point now where they got to do something here. Quinyon Mitchell has got to start on the outside. Keely Ringo, it probably will be your number 2 by next season in 25 when Darius Slay does indeed either retire or he moves on to play for another team. But yet, if Bradberry is not a part of your plans in the future at 31 years old, where do we go from here? Because, like I said before, I don't want them to keep Bradberry. And then there's a corner on our team that they have to cut to make room. And then he goes somewhere else and he flourishes. That's probably going to piss me off the most. And totally going to hate it. I don't hate Bradberry. I just feel like if he's not a part of your future plans, why keep him this year? There's really no interest. I mean, if there's no interest, Eagles moving him to safety already probably means what? And this isn't true, but it could be. If they're moving him to safety, it probably means that they don't trust him at cornerback. Why does Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman get excited about drafting Quinyon Mitchell in the first round? And if they didn't need a corner that badly and they had Bradberry here, why did they draft one? They drafted one to redshirt one. I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to go through an Andre Dillard situation. I mean, just think about it. You sit Quinyon Mitchell 3/4 of the season, and then he comes right in, and then it's just like he's back to learning again. I don't care how many times you're practicing during the season as a backup, okay? Once you step on that field, it's like it's real now. And then I feel like his progression just slowed down tremendously because you want to keep a veteran presence, in which there's no issue with that. But because of the situation we're in, this is the best situation at cornerback we've been in years. There's a lot of promising high ceiling type talent in this secondary. And I'm shocked that, I mean, at this point, just take the loss. You save $1.2 million. I mean, you're not going to get much. I mean, if you trade him, who cares what you get back? I mean, is Howie Roseman really trying to either, trying to get more interest by saying they're gonna move him to safety, or is it because they don't trust him at cornerback? That's what I don't get. Like, why the safety talk with Bradberry? It's just weird. So in my own opinion, I feel like they just don't trust him at corner, that they're moving on from him at that position. And, I figured if he did stay in Philadelphia, because Vic Fangio was the consultant in 22 for the Eagles when Bradberry played really well. I'm not saying Bradberry has fallen off, but there might be another team out there that might garnish his services a lot better than what we need. This is a Super Bowl caliber roster right now. And really what we're lacking is coaching. And the one thing we need is youth to be on the field. Okay? You have a veteran in Darius Slay. I have no issue with Slay being here this year. I already knew Slay was going to be here this year, and I had no problem with it. No problem whatsoever. This is Slay's last hoorah in Philadelphia after this year. And then I think Keely Ringo will take that number 2 spot. But that number 1 spot's going to be really interesting because we know you know what I mean, not the number 1 spot, but you know what I mean. Bradberry is just a waste of time right now. It's a waste of time of somebody else to really produce. And I feel like he's just taking up space, taking up oxygen, just taking up a roster spot. It's just, this roster spot is crucial for James Bradberry staying here if that's the case. I don't care if it's a 2052 7th round pick 20 years down the line. I don't even care what it is. I'm not expecting to get much out of a 31-year-old corner. You know what I mean? So something's got to happen soon. I mean, are they going to wait before training camp, after training camp? I mean, or just get rid of, or just flat out release him and just take a hit. It's not even that much of a big hit. Who cares? Doesn't even matter. But you got to let the young guys play. That's where I'm at with the whole situation. Every time I read something, I feel like there's teams that are doing homework on Bradberry and they're like interested, but they're not fully invested to trying to call the Eagles in to get a trade going. So we're just in a position right now. Like if we had no corners and it was like, we had nobody, like, and we had, there wasn't much talent to produce on the back end, then I would keep Bradberry. But this is different now. This is way different now. So the only reason why, even last year, okay, you lost Avonte Matt. You lost 2 people at nickel, which is on top of the coaching being bad last year defensively. We had to move. We had to rotate nickel corners all year. Maddox gets hurt. McPherson's out for the year. You know what I mean? So then you had to move Eli Ricks to the inside. You had to move Keely Ringo to the inside. Yeah, I mean you had no backup plan. No backup plan at all. That's why this whole group is really important. You have Tyler Hall coming in now. That Sean Steffens kid with the 16 picks in 2 seasons at small schools. Like there is some talent back there. Eli Ricks, I felt like did some good things, but he went through his growing pains. Keely Ringo, I thought when he actually practiced with the team and he was ready to start with the team, Matt Patricia, like the first 2 games, I thought he played really well, like really good. Seems like he's a lot stronger, a lot faster this year. And Slay's fine. Like, I don't think Slay is deteriorating as a player. I just have issues with why he says certain things during the year. That's really it. And Bradberry, it's just a waste, man. I just think it's just a waste of time. So if he's not a part of the future of this team, and he's not at 31 years old, he's not. We all know this. Why even make the suggestion or make the announcement at a press conference that he's moving to safety? Like, why would they do that? One of 2 things. Either they're trying to build his value, or they just don't have any. They don't trust him at cornerback. One or the other. I don't know. But that's the news on Bradberry as of right now, and it's very frustrating. It's been getting frustrating by the week. So we'll see what happens by training camp if a move is made, not made, or he shows up, or he's still here. We'll find out. Now, secondly, I want to go over Cam Jurgens. Now, this obviously is a big year for the Eagles because, you lose some veteran players. You lost Fletcher Cox. You lose Jason Kelce. You lose the quarterback of your offensive line. Obviously, Jason Kelce, first ballot Hall of Famer. We know who he is and how he is and what he represents for this city, for this team, for the fan base, everything. Okay. Now, do you guys consider that the Eagles have a weakness on the offensive line? Now, you brought in a lot of guys now, especially Cam Jurgens. The only thing now, Cam Jurgens, I think, is a very good player. Now, this was a hand-picked pick by Kelce a couple years back. Okay. Howie Roseman, Jeff Stoutland kind of doing their homework. Because really, when you look at them side by side, they're undersized centers with a lot of athleticism. Okay. And Jurgens, even his first year, even the preseason games, man, that man can pull, that man can knock people down and is pretty damn good. Okay. But I think what's really good about the situation is that if Cam Jurgens didn't have any starting time, like he didn't start right guard last year, that would have sucked. Like if he didn't play at all last year, this would be a lot worse. But because he had all that playing time, it really did help. And you guys got to think about this too. Because remember, I think it was last offseason. I don't remember if it was last year or the year before that. I think it was last year where we were having joint practices with the Miami Dolphins. Remember when Jason Kelce had the orthoscopic surgery in his elbow to clean out his elbow? Now, Jurgens was supposed to play center and guard and kind of switch. He was supposed to just play guard mostly, and then obviously with second team, he would have went back to center. But because Jason Kelce was off that, had to stay out that offseason with the orthoscopic surgery, Jurgens did play a lot of center in the offseason program against Miami and obviously to the preseason games. So on top of all the offensive linemen you brought in with Dylan McMahon and Matt Hennessy and obviously Trevor Keegan, I mean, you got Mekhi Becton. There's a lot of pieces, but we're talking about center right now. Okay, Dylan McMahon could play it. Matt Hennessy could play it. I mean, Cam Jurgens is the best guy for the job. We all know this. But we all have to remember something here. He's not trying. We cannot put on him that he's going to be like Jason Kelce. Like Jurgens playing is a downgrade. Right now it is. I want Jurgens to be his own player, his own person, and that's it. You're not going to get a Jason Kelce. You're not going to get somebody as good as Jason Kelce with Cam Jurgens right now. It's not happening right now. But I think he will be good enough, but he won't be great. Okay? And I know that sounds weird, but it's true because you can't replace an all-time great. You just can't. And it's just, that's just the truth. I feel really good. I feel good about Cam Jurgens. I know he gets these little injuries here and there. He missed a couple games last year. We had, that's when Opeta took over and some of the other guys took over. So you've had some rotational guys that can go in at guard if you really need him to. But as a center, like you can't really afford to lose him. You can't really afford it. Matt Hennessy has started 22 games. He's played guard and center. Dylan McMahon can play all three interior spots, center and both guard spots. So, I mean, you have guys. So it wouldn't shock me that they're going to have Dylan McMahon, Matt Hennessy are going to have a lot of center work because they need a backup center. We got to find our next backup center through this training camp, through this process. But like I said, it's going to be a downgrade. But I think he's going to play. If he stays healthy, I think he's going to play really well. I think he's going to. I don't know how Eagle fans feel about him. If he's more surprised, if people will be more surprised if he's that good. I feel like the talent is there 100%. And since he played a lot of right guard last year, relationship with the guys, he has started a crap ton of games. So I'm not really worried about it too much. But I always think that this is something to question because we really don't talk about it that much. Kelce retired. We were sad about it, but then it's like, okay, well, how do we feel about Cam Jurgens? I don't think Cam's moving anywhere. I don't think Cam's moving anywhere at all. And Cam is in really good shape right now. Like he's jacked. He got a lot leaner. He looks like a tight end. I mean, he looks more stock, he definitely lost weight and gained muscle. He got more leaner. There's no doubt about it. And this picture is an old picture. I couldn't find a new one of him, a one where you could really see he's like, crazy. But that's really it. I think the offensive line's in good hands. Obviously, Dickerson got the extension, which is fantastic. The left side is pretty much set. I mean, really, you're looking for your next right guard. You're looking for how good Cam Jurgens is going to be. And obviously, you need a backup center. You need somebody on second team. So who's it going to be? It's going to be Dylan McMahon, Matt Hennessy, most likely. I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out when the time comes. And we'll see. I think offensive line is going to be very exciting during training camp because those two positions and seeing how these guys look. And I know Jason Kelsey will be in the building. He will be at training camp to help these guys out. I don't think he's going to stay away from football for that long, but he will be at Eagles training camp for most days, which is good. Help the guys out a lot. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So that is the news. We talked about James Bradberry. Let me know what you guys think. Is there a chance he's gone? Like, is it suspect about certain things happening with him when it comes to there's no teams interested? And, do they flat out release him? 31 years old. What are you going to do? Let me know what you guys think. And obviously, how do you guys feel about Cam Jurgens? Because I don't feel like I've talked to you guys too much about Cam Jurgens too much going forward. So should be really, really interesting going forward. By the time we hit training camp and all that, fantastic stuff moving forward. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every single day, and make sure you definitely hit the like button. It does help out the channel out tremendously. If you guys haven't checked out the Philly Shakedown podcast merch, definitely check out some of the merch. We have some new we have some new stuff coming out really soon in the coming days, the coming weeks, really. So definitely check out some of the stuff that we do have, and hope you guys enjoy. Link in the description for all that great stuff. And that's pretty much it. I will see you guys on the next one. Shakes what up, follow slide. Peace out, guys. Base.